Noodle Thumb here, and this evening I'm going to pick as many challenge locks as I can over the next about 6 minutes. But first I'm going to see if I can break this. This is the next installment in Noodle Thumb Learns Technology. I'm going to do that by trying to tune into my own stream so that I can respond to comments as they come in. All right. I think I'm all set up here. We'll see. So first up, I've got Elroy's Toys. This is challenge lock 29. I had thought to make a thing where I could display what lock I was picking, but didn't get it together. Maybe I'll just type it in the chat. Let's see, in the device. And hold on. Let me double check this. Yes, CL29. All right, a little bit better setup than yesterday or 2 days ago. This is my usual picking station, so might be a little bit better stream for you guys. Let's zoom in on the lock for this. I'm probably going to stay zoomed in while I'm picking, and then if I do decide to gut, which I'm still on the fence about, I'll subject you guys to a moving camera for a little bit. Starting off with my usual, actually, Covert Instruments 25 thousandths medium hook. Comes in the Genesis set. It tends to be the hook that I use to start with, just because if it can navigate the keyway, it's nice to have like big fat feedback from it. It's a pretty stiff hook. There's a lot of keyways it won't work for, but often, especially with challenge locks that have a relatively open keyway, works nicely. So I'm getting some little clicks, especially from 3 here. That was on 5, gave me a big false set, so that might be a standard pin. In a lot of locks, you'll have a single standard. It helps with key operation, so your core isn't just flopping back and forth all the time. Sometimes people forgo that in a challenge lock because, it's not meant to be reliable. It's meant to be fun. And kind of lost feedback when I hit that second pin. It seemed like it wanted to be touched, but then kind of lock went dead, which suggests it might be an overset trap or something like that. Sometimes if there's a 0 lift pin somewhere along, it'll give some counter rotation, which is actually your key pin being pushed up above shear. I may move to this 19,000th gym hook. This is my second go-to pick for pretty much any lock. You know, that second pin, I do feel like I'm intentionally oversetting it now. I do feel like it oversets pretty much right away. I could be wrong about that, but I guess we'll find out when I got it. Okay, 3, 4. So I got some crunch on 5. I'm dragging my pick across the keyway. I don't like that. Might be just choosing a bad angle, but try the CI short hook and then pick from the boarding. Much of the time this doesn't work, especially with challenge locks, because we like to make a big jumps between pins, low lift right in front of a high lift, and that keeps a short hook from being effective unless you pick, you know, round pins. I am getting much better feedback with this though. Some counter on 3. Not really feeling much on 4 or 5. They're either already set or they're not binding yet. So click on 2. On 1, I can't tell. I think that's set. 2 feels set. 3, I can't tell. Oh. Well, I ooched it, so I guess we'll see if everything turns to mush or not. What's up, Lord Kodiak? Good to see you here. Yeah, I'm not feeling anything here. So I'm going to try and let up, drop something. There's feedback again. Good. And there we go. So I had just overset something a little bit, dropped pin 1, and then I was able to recover. So I think I will. I wish YouTube had better video controls. Okay. Gonna zoom out and take you guys into an overhead view. Let's gut this lock and see what we've got inside. I'm going to trust that the key works. So there's the bitting. So 3, 4, and 5 were relatively deep. Actually, it's a 6-pin key. 4, 5, and 6 were deep. 3 was pretty shallow, and I think that was the one I overset right at the beginning. Oh, let's get my gut wrench here. That is not wanting to come loose. There we go. Just shot myself in the chest with that. I'll go fetch it before I lose it. Where'd you go? I think I've said this on video before. Secret weapon for any picker who tends to drop things is a very bright flashlight. Second best tool is a broom. I don't shim every lock, but I try to shim challenge locks as often as I can. I've been surprised from time to time, and I don't like surprises with other people's stuff. So I try and shim when I can, although this one is not wanting to advance. So I'll just shim the end of the core, I guess, and be careful to go slow. That is not wanting to advance at all with the shim. Okay. Well, I guess not then. I think there is a significant trench in there, maybe. And there we go. So I could feel one of the drivers went down into the trench there, and the plug follower didn't want to advance. Let me zoom in a little bit, get this in a bit better place for you guys to see. So that trench there just hung up one of the drivers. Okay. Let's get these pins out. I always struggle to do this in a way that is nice for the video viewing. I'm going to try to just nudge them out. 1, 2, hold on, false ass information here. Okay, put them in the correct channels. So there's a long key pin there. It's pretty heavily modified. Thing is, that doesn't come into play, these spool sections, I believe, unless you overset. Oh, look at that. Sometimes I do have a bit of grace. So this is indeed a 6-pin lock. Have had challenge locks that were cut for 6 pins and only loaded with 5. So all these key pins are modified in different ways, and there's a little bit of counter milling on 1 and 3, so these spool sections can get, I guess, well, they're not sharp. I don't know. Maybe they give weird feedback in these sections. A tiny trench on 4, and then this big trench on 5, counter milling on 6. There's a lot of core modification on this challenge lock. It's pretty cool. Driver pins. One. Nope, shot myself in the chest again. Hold on. I didn't hear that one hit the ground. Which means maybe I ate it. And this, my people, is why I often do not gut things on live stream. Oh boy. Oh, there it hit the ground. There we go. See, I can't pretend that never happened now. So that one there is like a, maybe a gin section. Yeah, that bottom part is a tiny bit narrower than the main body, so that counts as a gin. Here's a pin in pin for the second driver. That one, I think, is just spooled. That bottom lip is same diameter as the main body. Got a tapered spool for 4. Thick bottom spool for 5. And kind of rounded spool for 6. So that's pretty neat. Elroy's Toys always has really beautiful pin work. There's a up close of the pins. Gorgeous stuff there. And I think with that near mishap, what I'm going to do, actually it was a mishap, it was a near capital P problem, but I think what I'm going to do is set my pinning tray aside, return to my somewhat wise policy of not gutting on live stream, and just stick to picking for the rest of this evening. Get zoomed back in. And move on. So next one is a lock from Old TW. It'll buff out. And I'll type that in. Okay, so looking at the face of this, looks like OTW kind of glyph here. It'll buff out carved on it. It's got tape above the slip cover. Not sure what the purpose of that is, but it's there. And let's aim this a little bit up. Bring the light. Oh, that's terrible. There we go. All right. Starting off, back with this trusty CI 25 thou medium hook. Hey, Nate's in the house. That's my older brother from the DC area. So that's a sticker, arrived today. And yep, I got poker chips. Let's see. There we go. Got those not too long ago. I haven't even sent out a lock package since they arrived. So nobody has them yet, except me. Thank you, Grouchy. Those are from Chip Lab. And the so weird feeling pin. Stickers from Vinyl Disorder. Which I ordered early-ish in January, and they didn't arrive, and eventually I sent them an email, and they're like, oh, they're right here. They sent it out that day, so that was cool. Chip Lab, I think, is from here in Colorado. So right now I'm just kind of in the exploratory phase with this lock. I think I mentioned on Thursday, my norm with a lock that's new to me is I just kind of flounder around inside it for a while until I find my way. Despite being a black belt, I'm a new enough picker that there's still like, I still have a feeling out period to kind of learn how each lock communicates. I'm sure after a few years of picking, that feeling out process will come much more quickly. But for now, I just have to bumble around a little bit. I'm not sure if that's normal, but I've always been a pretty fast learner knowledge-wise, but a slow learner in terms of process. So that probably has something to do with it. That felt like an overset there. I'm going to switch to clockwise rotation. So this first pin has a few like crunchy bits to start off. Second pin, just one kind of bigger one. Next couple are soft. 4 feels like it might be a low cut. I mean a low lift. We'll find out if I just overset it. 3 feels like maybe it needs floated. It bound not at all, and then it bound pretty tight. Or it might have been a low lift as well. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I don't think anything's overset yet. At least not deeply. But I take that back. It is overset. Okay. Try again. 1 through its crunchy stage. 2, just the single. 1's not falling back into the keyway either. So I worry that I overset it off the bat too. This one has really muted feedback compared to a lot of locks that I've picked. Even a lot of challenge locks. Time for the low hook. Okay, 3 felt good. There we go. So I'm getting a lot crisper feedback. I'm not sure if it's because of the low hook or if it's because this is a flat. But it's giving me crisper feedback than the medium round. Yeah, that was an oversight. I felt it, but I still chased it. It was a bad idea. Sometimes, with locks as in life, when you feel something going south, you should just let it go, move on. Clearly, I'm not good at that. I want to know what happens next, even if I have a hunch that it's not good. Okay, so set 5 a little bit. Okay, 4, giving me a little bit of counter rotation. I'm not sure if that was all. There we go, that feels like it might have been all. Three, 4, 5. I feel like I'm missing something. Okay. So I dropped 4 down again because 3 went all mushy on me. Okay, so that was 2, feeling like before when I overset it, but then I felt that come back crisp again. So maybe it wasn't an overset before, maybe I just, sometimes when there's a, like an hourglass spool has like a bulb in the middle, it can feel like you're oversetting, but then if you push it out of that middle section, you get your feedback again. That might have been what happened there. Or it might be a spooled key pin, and oversetting it then got me up on the neck and got partial feedback again, falsely giving me hope. And I think that might have been what happened. All right. What's my next method of attack on this one? I'll go back to clockwise tension with this short hook. Be a little better about jiggle testing it. Sometimes you can just kind of run through a lock and push things willy-nilly. Other times, you gotta slow down, like Marson tells everyone, and listen to what the lock is telling you. Ask it over and over what it's telling you. And just take your time. So I'm going to try that. So this is on 3. That gave a much better kind of series of feedback. Now 2 feels like it needs to be picked. So we'll do that slowly. Just ride the counter rotation. dropped something. There's 5. But I think I might have dropped 4 as well. Nope. 4 actually feels okay. Okay. 1 feels good. 2 feels all right. 3 feels so-so, although it's way down in the keyway. Okay, 3 feels good now. 4 feels like it doesn't need to go anywhere. 5 might need something. It did. And 3 again needs a touch. My device has come loose from the vacuum base, so fix that. 3. So 4 and 6, I think, need something. Well, 6 for sure. There we go. So there we go. Slow down. Take your time. Feel what's going on in the lock. And as I said, I'm not going to gut this one. Let's see. What's up, testing? Good to see you here. Let's see. Set this aside. I've just got these kind of lined up on the breakfast counter. So next one, this cracked me up. Got Storm Crow. Lock is called Down the Shitter. And what cracked me up about it is looking at the lock itself. There's a nice little illustration there. Got the name, and then a sad face because it says, "This is so much easier than I wanted." And having said that, I'm going to try to pick it and hope it doesn't take the entirety of the remaining stream. It's got a cool pattern on the front too. Now, since we're 0 for 2 on my medium hook, I'm just going to start out with this short flat hook. Counterclockwise tension. This is a wide open keyway. It should be great with a short hook. A little tippy tappy on 2. That's probably a serrated pin. 1 is loose. 2 is still giving me some, yep. So if you saw when I was bouncing on the pin, the core moved a little bit. And that usually means it's grabbing. But now I fell into the false set and I'm having to turn it all the way back for 3. 1's not binding yet. 4 needed just a touch. Actually, 1 is binding a little bit way up there. So I'm going to try and chase that, I guess, next. sometimes you can use your pick to provide counter rotation. So I did that. Nope. There we go. That might be enough. I don't know. I might have to come back and set one again. Okay, there's that. I think that was 5. I just gave a little touch to. Okay. And I think it's 1 that I'm not, that is not set yet. It's like way up there. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna see what I think about 1 now. See, it's not binding on anything to start with. So 2 gives a lot. You know, I kind of wonder if I just never need to touch 1. We'll try that. Okay. 3. There we go. Okay, that's 5, I think. The back one, anyway. This must be 4. Just kind of ooching it slowly. It's giving me counter rotation, so that's nice. Okay. Back on 2. And now 1 is binding. So I wish I had a better answer for the floating in here. But I think I'm just going to use my pick for counter rotation and then my tensioner to keep myself from going too far. This is why I like thick picks. This seems like too high. Okay, I'm going to check out the rest of the pins briefly. I don't think 1 is set yet. It's crazy. Okay. Push it a little more. It would be pretty funny to see a interactive pin on a pin tumbler challenge lock. That is overset now. So I'm going to see how little I can rotate this back. No. Okay. See, this was sold to me as labeled as a disappointingly easy lock. And maybe it is. See, it's giving good feedback on these early pins. I started from the back of the lock this time. So 5. 4 felt weird that time. So I don't think I like starting from the back. I think I like pin 2 again. Pin 2. 3. 4. 5. And I'm just trying each of these to see if it seems like they need another touch. See, if there's trenches here and they're not fully set, it won't feel like they need another touch either. And that might be where I am with 1. I'm actually going to manually counter rotate the core with my hands here, watching what happens with pin 1. Okay. Now what I want to do is feel when it turns a little springy, and I think I might have it set right now. Probably wrong. Oh, see, and there it fell down again. I'm actually very interested to see what this looks like in the middle. I mean, on the insides. Those middle pins seem relatively approachable, but this pin 1 has me flummoxed. See, now I've counter rotated almost back to neutral now. Actually, 4 and 5 are a little loose. So I've dropped pins. Oh, that felt good. I'm going to capitalize on that and see. If I happen to set 1 in right, just the right spot. Okay, so 4 is riding on something. So So I'm just going to test each pin and see what seems like it's binding on the core. 2 does. Which doesn't seem possible. It's pretty high up there. I think that might be actually warding. 3. Feels set. No, there we go. Okay, and that was 4 and 3. There we go. So the disappointing part is I don't know exactly what was going on in there. Usually after a little bit I can tell what I'm getting hung up on. I definitely think 1 has something special, but then it was 3 and 4 that I was 3 and 4 that I was bouncing back and forth between. So there are 3 locks, about 52 minutes. I think I'm probably going to say goodnight. You lock pickers, I posted in the Discord a little bit ago the link to Nate's podcast. I listen to it every day. It's about 3 minutes. Kind of a fun listen. It's about sports betting, Nate's Daily Wager, and I highly recommend it. So you all have a good evening, and I will be back with more challenge locks at some point.